Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Professor Loki, and in this video I'm going to be demonstrating you the new Loki Season 7 build. Now, I have not uploaded this build yet, and I still kind of don't want to, but I'm going to do it anyways, is because, well, you never know, things are probably going to be changing in the PTS, so this build right now that I'm going to be setting on YouTube may just be completely voided, but if it is, I'm going to delete the video, and then I'm going to make a new video to, you know, stick with the current meta. Okay, so now this is gonna be a lot of talking. I'll be uploading a video from my stream, which is gameplay about the build. So this is just purely showing you and explaining you the reasoning and whatnot. Allow me to say this formally, that for Season 7, the build for Loki is going to be crit as of... what day is today? Hold on. As of 2020. 2020 January 20, as of today, this is the build for Loki in the PTS, and if they don't change anything, it's going to be the build for Season 7 until they change it again in some future patch. Obviously, the whole PTS is just basically buffing crit. They buff Rage, they buff Malice, and so they buff Wind Demon, Wind Demon, Poison Star. But anyway. This is what you're seeing right now is the whole build. I made a custom build for the crit build, and here it is. It is everything I need for jungle, solo, and whatnot. Now, keep in mind, this crit build works primarily better in the solo lane. So I'm going to be speaking about solo lane only. So let's just say, so we're level 1, right? Level 1, same start. The first 3 items for Loki in the soul lane is going to be the same. You go tier 2 trance, you go to the wave, you get 1600 gold, you get full boots, go back to the lane, get 1400 gold, get transcendence, get Hydra's Lament, and then here is where it gets weird. Okay. So the third item, your fourth item you're going to be getting is Malice. With this, you'll have 30% cooldown, and with blue buff, you'll have 40% cooldown. Now, blue buff is relevant for Loki until the end of the game, until you get this item. This item's called Potion of Power. It gives you 40 power and 10% cooldown reduction. So this build ultimately is going to give you a lot of... This build is going to give you the same thing for your penetration build in terms of cooldown, but with crit instead. Now, and then after that, you want to go into Rage, and then you want to check if anyone's building tanky. If they are, then you build Timesbane. If not, you go Deathbringer. You sell boots for Timesbane. And then this is the full build for Loki. Now, I'm going to explain you the mathematic part. So I did use math for this. I will be showing you 2 images here. I already posted this in my community tab, so you guys can check out these images as well. Here is the first image. This is the cost differences. So this build right here is the first pen build. It's Trance, Hydra's, Yone's, Timesbane, Crusher, and Heartseeker. In fact, both these builds are the same. The only difference is number 6, Crusher, Bloodforge, Brawlers. The first pen build is 1490, 900, 15300, and then 14850. So these are pretty relatively cheap. This is the most expensive with the Bloodforge. Now the crit build that I just showed has these numbers. Trance, Hydra's, Malice, Rage, Timesbane, Deathbringer. 1500 gold total, which means that crit is not expensive. As you can tell, the more expensive item is actually Bloodforge if you build pure pen. So in other words, crit is not expensive. If you look at the crit chance, if you guys are wondering, oh, but having crit on Loki, it's bad because you don't crit. Well, with this build, you'll have 95% crit chance, which is basically 100. So basically 100 crit chance. That's great. Knowing high res, knowing smite though, you're still probably not going to crit 5 times in a row with 95%, but you'll crit with 5% crit. Okay, so that's the cost of all the 3 major pen builds versus this. So clearly crit is not expensive, which means it's a realistic buy. Second image right here, this shows the damage numbers. So basically the test dummy is Odin right here. So if you come back here, there's a level 20 Odin. If you upgrade his protections to 300, this goes by 25, so it's gonna take a bit here. Okay, so 300 is the max, but he has base protections, so he should have 325 physical protections. If not, there is very little difference between 300 and 325. In fact, how math works in this game is the more protections you have, the more mitigations you get to damage. However, the greater difference is decreased as you get more protection. So, for example, if you have 150 physical protections, you may get 30% mitigation to damage. If you have 200, you're only getting 35%. So it's a 5% difference or 50 extra protections. It's not a huge difference. But I'm pretty sure he has 325. Anyways, this is the item. So Odin bot with 325 protections. This is the pen build 1. So if you refer back to the old image right here, pen build 1 is with Crusher. It deals 1600 damage total, so 3 auto attacks in the front and then 1 auto attack from behind because Loki's assassinate puts you behind the person, therefore giving you a free auto back damage. And you get total 1600 damage, 1670. Build 2, which is the one with the Blood Forge, the most expensive build out of all of these builds, is 1644. Pen build for number 3, which is with Brawlers, is 1613. And then, of course, with crit, it's just not even like competition. It's 200 more damage. Why? Because his auto attacks. Look at this. His auto attacks deal 1200. None of these builds can even make it in the 4 digits. This one can, however. Your abilities will deal less damage, as you can tell, but your auto attacks deal a lot more. And you mostly die from Loki's auto attacks anyway, so you're just basically making Loki more of an auto attack damage dealer. And yeah, so no buffs or power potions are used, and all autos are scaled with Hydra's passive. So I showed you the statistics, so I'm not just BSing you. So mathematically, it is good, it's efficient, it's cheap. You get 40% cooldown. You deal more damage on a 300%. Like, this is crazy. Think about this, right? Crit deals more damage on a tank than building pure pen. Now, that doesn't make any sense to me, and that shouldn't make any sense to you, but that's how this game is built on. Now, what is really cool about this build is that with this build, you'll have 40% cooldown reduction with Power Pot. I consumed a Power Pot. Your cooldown is actually less than the pen builds. Pen build, you have 40% cooldown, so your vanish is around 9 seconds with 4, so 5 seconds-ish cooldown. With this build, however, your vanish is going to be between 1 to 2 seconds. I will demonstrate right now. So I just vanished twice there, basically. So that is what's really cool about this item, Malice. Now, the reason why I didn't build Malice before, this is nothing new. The passive is the same. It just got 10% more cooldown reduction. I already knew about Malice before when they reworked it the 50th time. The reason why I didn't pick this up is because it couldn't fit my build. But now it gives cooldown. I can replace Yon's Wrath with Malice. So essentially, this is the go-to build for Loki solo. You will deal a lot more damage than the pen build on squishies. There's nothing else to talk about. I mean, in the backstab is also even greater now. So 575 auto damage to 690 from behind. It's just, you deal a lot of damage. This is a great build. You could, people might ask me, should I replace, like, let's say Rage with Heartseeker or Rage with something else? The point is that when you delete Rage, you only have 50% crit chance, which is really low. You're relying on a 50-50 situation, and since Loki basically auto attacks 3 times, yes, you may get 1 out of 3 crits, but it's not worth it. You could be getting more crit. And that's the whole point of this build. This build is designed to be purely crit-based. Now, I want to talk about the weaknesses of this build. The first one is obvious. Thorns will kill you instantly if you attack. So it's really easy to avoid. Just don't attack. Second thing that could really counter this build is this item right here. No one freaking Spectral Armor. As you can see, critical strikes bonus damage is decreased by 50%. Now, if someone picks this up, and unfortunately I can't really test this right now, but if someone picks this up, and let's just say 50%, so if I deal, let's just 575 between 690, let's just average it to around 600, your autos will deal 300, which is really, really, really low. And since your abilities are already essentially decreased because of crit, you're not going to be able to kill someone as fast, or even, I'm pretty sure your whole combo might still be able to kill a squishy, but it's going to be really, really hard to kill them just with your 3 auto attacks. So if they pick this up, that's really bad. But currently, no one has really ever picked this item up. It's a very cheap item. It gives you 70 protections, 300 mana. It gives you mana sustain and a lot of protections, as well as crowd control reduction. I'm pretty sure in the higher level games like Diamond Masters, Grandmasters, someone might be picking this up just to counter you specifically if you are the threat, the only threat in the team. And because it is more of a crit heavy meta, I don't doubt that this item is going to be picked up much more often. So be careful with this. If this item is picked up almost every game, I might have to recall this video and say, you know, while crit is so good on paper and in practice, the fact is that Spectral Armor counters crit way too much. As soon as a squishy gets this, you just deal no damage. So now you have to swap your build to pen build. If you do pen build, you're going to be dealing the same amount of damage in the current patch of Season 6. However, because Hydra's got nerfed, you're actually going to be dealing around, I think, 300 less damage if you auto cancel everything. Around 300 less damage. So this is a big nerf, but it's not as big as the auto nerf. This is just a slight nerf. It shouldn't impact Loki that much, but nonetheless, be careful. Now let's talk about the relics here. So if we go back to level 1, right? Let's pretend we're level 1. So we're level 1, we get tier 2, right? We get a Chalice of Healing. And when you back, because you have already a free ward, this is what I've noticed before, because every time I backed, I always get 2 wards. Now you don't need to, you only need 1 ward because you have Vision of Shard. As soon as you're level 12, you can just sell this, or upgrade this to something else, and then get 2 wards instead.
You just need to steal what you can't afford.
People are going to be asking me in the comments, what about Hand of the Gods? Let me tell you this right now, this item is garbage. It's not good. It's 100 for only 1 time. I don't see this being used really much at all. It's pretty much only good if you're fighting against a enemy comp who's going to invade. But besides that, it's just not great. I would not recommend getting Hand of the Gods on Loki jungle. I only tried it a few times, but it just doesn't feel as impactful. You save around, I would say, you save around 10 seconds of clearing, I believe, 5 to 10 seconds of clearing, which isn't that big of a deal since Loki will always be behind in clear anyways. So just the first rotation, he's going to be somewhat normal speed, but after that he's still going to fall behind. It's just, you can get this, but I right now, Hand of the Gods is the worst. No one's getting this. No one's getting this on PTS. It's not worth it. It's just not good. They need to buff this item. They need to increase the damage on this item, or decrease the cost to maybe 50 gold. And maybe it's gonna be worth picking up. But yeah, so that's gonna be about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please post it down below. And this is not a troll video. I'm being serious. Crit Loki is now a thing in the PTS, and I'm gonna see you guys all Loki and non-Loki players next time.